Kentucky Derby!
No American sporting event has stood the test of time like the Kentucky Derby. For 145 years, spanning 3 centuries, the run for the roses just seems to improve with age. No surprise, considering the bluegrass knows a few secrets about saving time in a bottle. Every year, the first Saturday in May plays out with clockwork precision, every time-honored tradition, adding to the anticipation. So perhaps it's fitting that the greatest 2 minutes in sports are preceded by a moment of breathtaking silence. A moment where time seems to stand still, and in the blink of an eye, the wait is over.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
It's Derby Day, and it's about time.
Excitement is building as the crowd begins to pour in here. Some people delayed their entrance, a little weary of the weather, but folks are beginning to pour in and sharing the excitement from the infield to Millionaires Row. It is Derby Day in the Bluegrass, and LEX-18 has your front row seat for it all. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Nancy Cox.
And I'm Keith Farmer. Thanks for joining us for another hour here of our LEX-18 special coverage of Kentucky Derby 145.
We have a jam-packed hour and a half left for you, featuring everything from previews of the contenders to the expert handicapping of Todd Schupp and the stars walking the red carpet today.
First, though, something that everyone is keeping an eye on, and that is the skies.
Let's go to Seth Phillips. Come on, Seth. How we doing now?
Look, I'm not going to be overly optimistic because every time I do in the weather, the complete opposite is going to happen. But we are right now in a dry slot that seems to be lasting longer than expected. Am I upset about it? Of course not. Is anybody upset about it? I don't think so. It doesn't look great outside, but at least the rain still is holding off. So let's hope it does continue. But, of course, we do still see some showers out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at. We can keep this dry slot going, guys. I think we're going to be okay for the most part.
You know, my mother tells me that way back in the day, the Derby would take place on a beautiful sunny day, about 75 degrees. I don't remember that ever happening.
It's not in recent memory anyway.
We have to have hope, though. Speaking of hope, a lot of these folks here are hoping they can find just the right horse to lay their money on. And because of that, the odds are changing with no clear-cut favorite coming into today.
So who is the favorite or favorites? Well, let's go to the backside with Charlie Walter, Eli Gehn. They'll take a look at those.
Yeah, Keith and Nancy, thank you very much. Eli's on his way. We have a break in the action in about 10 minutes. We finally get some time off. He already guzzled down his pork sandwich, and then he's going to run back there to the betting booth and finally get his ticket in this one. Yep. Odds are all over the place right now. You have the 3 favorites that are obviously up at the top, somewhat moving. We'll see in a second if Maximum Security is still the favorite. Yep. And then you got your guy, David Bodie Express, all the way down there at 99 to 1 odds. So we have odds all over the place as we pull those up. Yep. You see post 1 through 5.
Yep, and you got War of Willows at 17 to 1 right now. It all looks pretty similar to what it's been earlier. I might throw a couple bones on him, see what he can do.
He's a Chicago Cubs fan.
David Bodie
Cubs guy, absolutly.
It's perfect.
Keith,
so, all right,
Nancy,
go back to you guys. Tips.
Thanks, guys. It would be a pretty good payday if that horse did come in for
sure. Yes.
Trainer Brendan Walsh will be saddling his first Derby contender with Plushka Parody.
Yeah, that means perfect.
Okay.
And which means more than perfect is what that means. Plushka Parody. He doesn't have to be perfect in the Kentucky Derby. He only has to finish that far ahead of the other 18 contenders. Here's a closer look at Plushka Parody. The trail to Kentucky Derby 145 has been anything but easy for Plushka Parody.
You know, I think, like I said earlier on, I think we can only answer the question on the day itself.
Well, this is that day, and Plushka Parody with Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard will try to give Brendan Walsh his first win. They are long shots right now at 55 to 1. Walsh from a little small town in eastern Ireland,
Yeah.
he would be an instant success all over the island if he could get the win today.
A hero in his country, no
Yes.
question. Let's go to Todd Schupp again in the paddock with a preview of the next race coming up.
While most of the world, the general world, not just the racing world, is focused on the Kentucky Derby, there's a fantastic number of races taking place prior to the Kentucky Derby today. A good example of that is the race coming up next. It's the Grade 1 Humana Distaff. In horse racing, yes, we look forward to the Kentucky Derby, but our championships are at the end of the division last year. She's trying to prove it this year. Hopefully she can overcome what was bad luck last time here at Churchill Downs, or maybe it's not her racetrack. But the betting public has no problem with making her the 3-5 favorite. Marley's Freedom for trainer Bob Baffert, heavy favorite coming up in the Grade 1 Humana Distaff, some of the top female sprinters in the country here at Churchill Downs. Back to Keith and Nancy.
All right, thank you, Todd. Well, what does it take to become a jockey for the Kentucky Derby?
I would say it takes some special skills. Wouldn't you think so? Let's check in with Claire Kopsky now about that.
Keith and Nancy, there's no doubt it takes some serious skills to be able to ride a racehorse, because if you let them, they will just run on their own. But the job of a jockey is to help the horse navigate the traffic on the track based on how that horse likes to run. Thinking about being a jockey? Well, you better like the smells, sounds, and residents in a barn. And although your height doesn't matter, you need to weigh between 108 and 118 pounds, not to mention have a love for riding horses and fearlessness. For the most part, we will see the best of the best jockeys here at Churchill Downs today, but sometimes trainers choose a jockey that's a little bit less experienced because they think that jockey is better for their horse. But it's all a bit of a gamble because most of these jockeys have never ridden the horse that they'll be riding today before. Keith and Nancy, back to you.
Yeah, you know, she mentioned something about how the horse would run. We've seen where jockeys have been spilled, and the horse will just run around the track. They will keep going.
Yeah.
But for certain, the jockey is there to guide them and get them through traffic.
Absolutely.
So very well said. We're going to continue our coverage here, our special LEX-18 coverage of Kentucky Derby 145.
We'll join Michael Berk in the infield, and we'll continue to take a look at these beautiful animals on this very special day in the Commonwealth.
Live from Churchill Downs with exclusive coverage of the 145th Run for the Roses. This is LEX-18 at the Derby.
We are live here at Churchill Downs. You know, you can feel the excitement in the air. You can smell all of the food that's being grilled, even some right down
below
there.
us.
And how about Iron Man and
Spider-Man, they're here. They're walking around.
T'Challa.
Yeah.
Where's T'Challa?
I don't know.
I don't know. Hi, everybody. I'm Davidson. You are?
Lee Cruse?
Last time you checked.
I think so. It'll be interesting to find out today, because yesterday they had 105,000 people that attended Oaks. That still doesn't make the top 10, though, because of the weather forecast and the conditions. So you wonder what will happen today as far as the attendance is concerned here at Churchill.
It's usually kind of parallel, isn't it?
Yeah. The weather can keep a lot of folks at home, but hey, if you're staying at home, we're glad to have you with us.
That's
because
right.
we'll have everything you need, including the race a little bit later on.
It's a party, and it's a party everywhere around Churchill, but especially in the infield, and that's where Michael Berk is hanging out today.
Guys, one of the main things that makes the Derby the most exciting 2 minutes in sports is the wagering. So if you're someone who happens to allocate a little capital towards these races, adds a little sizzle for those 2 minutes. We met someone who's been coming for 36 years and has a very scientific system for how she wagers. Let her tell you.
But it's my 36th year, so I'm boxing 3-6 for pretty much the whole day. So
that's your little routine?
That's what I'm doing this year.
So whether it's a tip straight from the paddock or some kind of quirky numbering system you came up with on your own, it always adds a little excitement when you have a little financial investment in it. Let's send it back to you guys.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, really. I mean, even the experts get it wrong, so whatever your system is.
Meanwhile, the stars attending the Kentucky Derby starting to roll in here at Churchill Downs.
It is a great event that Hollywood endorses every year. Let's go to Kylen Mills on the red carpet.
Hey Hey guys, a lot of excitement here on the red carpet as stars are starting to file in here at Churchill Downs. They're ready to show off some high fashion, bet on some horses, and of course they're ready for any weather.
I guess trying to mint juleps. Yeah, I never had one. I don't think so. I'm a pretty tough dude, so I think I'll be all right.
It's fantastically ugly. It's one of those things where it's just fun. You know, I always love having fun with these outfits, especially with Derby. You can get away with it. I don't know if I can always get away with this like on a Monday. Right. Just doesn't work, but you know, it's fun.
You know, if Jackie Kennedy is my icon, idol of fashion, you pretty much got my style listed, right? Clean, classic, understated. So that's what I'm looking for in my horse.
On Bodemeister's year was the racing. That was the sickest race I'd seen, and we lost. And I've lost so many races in my career that it felt like I could really relate to Bob and the horse. I was like, you got nosed out at the end. You ran a perfect race. I mean, it was like, I think that year was pretty special.
So the weather has been a little bit of a factor here, slowed things down slightly on the red carpet. We're hoping to catch up with much more stars coming up in a little bit. For now, back to you.
Joey Fatone talked about you can get away with a little extra on Derby Day. Certainly fashion here will run the gamut from the elegant, the classic, to the downright sassy.
Jacqueline Nye has been on a fashion patrol. She's got her badge ready and everything. Now time to look at some of those that are a little over the top, right, Jacqueline?
Yeah, just that. I think that's an understatement. I found a woman, I actually talked to her last year on Derby Day. She makes her hats every single year. This year she had a peacock theme, and she spent several hours, to say the least, working on it. Take a look.
Started a few days ago on the hat, and then we sat down this morning, and it almost took 2 hours to, it's all like stuck on my
I had
head.
to build it on her head.
Yes.
Why these colors?
I wanted to represent New Orleans. So I love Mardi Gras, and this represents my New Orleans. So that's the long and short of it. I like horse racing, so.
All right, how long did it take to make this hat?
It was 25 hours.
Why do you like to match? I don't know. Just it's fun. We're old. It's fun.
We've been married many years.
We've been married 42 years, and they always say when you're married that long, sometimes you match.
Well, I've been wearing this for now 4 years, and every horse race it's a different blinkers. So that my wife makes, and it's just fun.
It's better than a poncho. I think I'll get less wet. So I mean, it's pretty much waterproof, so it's all right if it gets a little wet. Rain won't kill it.
That big hat is such a good idea. To stay dry today, I'll have more on the best dress coming up later. Nancy, Keith, back to you.
How many people do you think that one lady snuck in with that hat?
Probably a lot.
I mean,
I just wonder about her neck muscles at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's got to be heavy.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we know there's the mint julep, the Kentucky Derby, and the mint julep. Yes, they go hand in hand, but the mint julep, it is not for everyone. And that's where other drinks come into play. And what else is a better celebration drink than some champagne? And GH Mum, they are the champagne of the Derby. And guys, let me tell you, they're opening these things up with a sword. Yes, a sword. Honestly, I just have to show you so you can see.
When you think about those iconic moments within history or within sporting events, we often think about champagne, especially in the winner's circle here at the Kentucky Derby. Cheers! We use Pinot Noir. It's the boldest grape in the Champagne region. And I've seen tons of glasses of champagne going through, and as you can see, we already have a line here this morning for people to get a glass of GH Mum. It's fantastic.
It's 19 apiece.
I think it's the bubbles. They just scream celebration.
Cheers! Happy Derby Day! So grab a bottle and sip on some bubbly. Sip on whatever you please here at the Kentucky Derby. You can't do any wrong. Whatever you choose will be just fine. Back to you guys.
Very good. And we still have a lot more to come here at Churchill Downs. We're going to give you some insight on how to place your bet, and we'll look at more of the stars hitting the red carpet.
Yeah, and if you're going to place that bet, you need to know what's going on with the odds. So we'll give you a final check of that as well. LEX 18 special coverage of Kentucky Derby 145 continues on.